In this video, we're going to be breaking down the ad creative strategy of a brand that is doing $800 million in revenue per year. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce you to the brand, show you what they're doing really well. We're actually going to go through their ads together. And then I'm also going to show you how you can actually create these ads yourself using some proven frameworks, a process for generating creative ideas, and how to actually test these creatives as well, okay? So if you're new here, my name is Jordan Hayes. I run a marketing agency. We work with a handful of e-commerce brands and we help them scale through paid ads. We run media buying, we do ad creative, we do the CRO on the landing pages, on the website itself with A/B testing, we do email marketing, we do SMS marketing, and our clients really see us as a way to get insights into their business as well, right? We really serve as a partner for our clients where, every month we're looking at the P&Ls with them. We're just making sure that we're optimizing for profitability and of course their objectives for growth. So just an example here, I guess, to show you guys some proof that I'm qualified to speak on the topic of ad creative and also e-commerce growth, as one of our clients last 365 days is doing $8.8 million in revenue. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. The brand I want to talk about today is The Farmer's Dog, and likely you've heard of this brand. They're pretty big, they've been around for a few years, and they're doing $800 million per year in revenue. This was a source from, say, 2023. Yeah, end of 2023, so I can imagine that they've crossed the billion mark by now, and they're getting like 2 million visitors per month, right? Just keep in mind that, they have a subscription program. So basically what this brand sells is they sell this like healthy dog food where it's made with like real food rather than like the processed kind of kibble that dogs usually eat. So it's really just their product, right? They have like one main product and they personalize it to the dog, to the dog's weight, to the activity level, all that stuff. So this hits on a lot of things. The pet niche and that market is a very lucrative one to be in. They're selling a real like problem and solution here, a healthier diet for your dog basically. And there's so many things you can do with that. And then they're selling a subscription. So if you've seen any other videos on my channel, you'll likely have seen or heard me speaking about the upside of having a subscription program, a subscribe and save program in your business, and how that can really change your business, in a way that compounds revenue fast over time. So, you can imagine that this brand has hundreds of thousands of subscribers who are paying them monthly on their own plans. And that is a big reason how they're able to compound revenue and grow to $1 billion in sales. So they delivered over 100 million meals, right? So that just kind of shows you the scale. And the last component as to why this brand is so successful and why the product works so well is the personalization part. There's a recommended plan, and basically they take you through like this kind of quiz funnel where you enter like how many dogs you have. Say my dog name is John. Don't know who would call their dog John, but we can kind of go through this and show you guys, kind of how it looks. So very, very seamless approach here. Then it asks more information about the dog's activity level, all that stuff. Then it presents them a plan and then checkout, right? So very seamless way. Like it's very simple because they're only selling one product. And as I mentioned, the personalized aspect of this just means that it's a much more powerful and strong value proposition. Now, as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, what I want to do is I actually want to go through the ad creatives that they're running with you to break down the ad creative strategy in this video. I'm also going to show you some frameworks that we use, how to actually get these creative ideas, to research angles and then building these creatives, how to source creators, how to save money by using AI in your creative. So we're gonna get into all this in just a moment. Let's just look at some of the ads to begin with. Now, I like to use Foreplay. This is a creative analysis, market research, a competitor analysis tool, whatever you want to call it. And I've searched for this brand. I've added a filter to say that these ads are still running, and I've also sorted by longest running. We want to see the ads that have been running the longest because those are the ones that are likely working, right? Otherwise they wouldn't be running them. So this brand is running a ton of ads, as you can imagine. And the first thing I want to point out is some frameworks that they're using, starting with the image ads. We're going to go into the video ads, and then that's going to lead us into how to actually build these video ads. But starting with the image ads, because image ads do work, right? They do have a place. So a few things here. You're going to see this a few different things repeating themselves in terms of the frameworks they're using, right? So this one, right, like these two right here, it's like a question and an answer, kind of like in a social media format, right? It's not like the Instagram comment, right, or the TikTok comment, it's not that, but it's something similar, and it's also like in a way on brand, you could say. So that this is like a framework that they're using, right, and it's clearly working for them. This one right here is, simple. Image is a close-up image, it's a high-quality image, and then it shows different value propositions with arrows pointing to them. So these images here are more like user-generated images, where like they're just images of dogs, but this one is more like a high-quality professional one. So these ones right here are simple headline with image as well. Like you can see two of these here, before and afters, right? Before and afters are huge. If you can do them, right? You wouldn't have thought maybe you could do a before and after for this brand, but they're talking about overweight dogs, right? Which is actually a huge problem and a pain point, and it's very good to show the before and after as a direct response principle here. More like images with like arrows pointing. I think you get the idea of how they're replicating the same styles and structures. Okay, so really the thing you have to do is you have to find, for your image ads, find the structures, find the angles that work, and then just repeat them by creating new headlines and new images. Just try and repeat and squeeze as much as you can out of those templates. So that's really on the image side. Another thing I want to mention is whitelisting, right? They're running whitelisting ads. If you're not yet running whitelisting ads, please start running whitelisting ads. It's going to give you much more benefits of the ad creatives that you have that are especially already working. This is obviously from an account that it's two dogs and it's an image of the two dogs, but it's been running for 104 days and it's literally just an image of the product, but it's whitelisting. It looks very native. Like when this is served to the users on the platform, it doesn't really look like an ad, it doesn't seem like an ad. The barrier in the customer's mind that this is an ad is not yet there, so we can speak to them and get through to them in a way that's more organic and gets them to click through. So those are the images. Now let's look at some of the videos. Okay. Immediately you can see here the hook is a before and after, right? It's problem and solution. And this is like one of the oldest tricks in the book, right? Like direct response principles, consumer psychology is like current state, after state, before, after. As much as you can do that, trust me, it's gonna work really, really well for you. And you can get creative as well. If you're selling chairs, right? You're selling desk chairs, you could talk about posture, right? And someone with like bad posture and someone with good posture. You could talk about, you could show like a really uncomfortable chair and then your comfortable chair. Like any way that you can show the current state of the customer and the desired state. And then what you can do, and what we'll see in this ad likely, is you position yourself as the vehicle in between those two steps. Okay, so a lot of social proof, right? A lot of before and afters, before and afters. Okay, now it talks about the product introduction. We pre-portion our food to help your dog maintain a healthy weight. Okay, the very simple like product introduction and then like a little call to action. And then of course, yeah, the offer here as well. So very, very simple ad, but you can see here that it's very heavy on direct response in terms of the before and afters that were shown.
The average dog lives to 10. That's 10 birthdays, 10 first summer swims, 10 annual camping trips at the farm.
Okay, this one is more of like a high production, right? But you can see that they're still going in the direct response. An average dog lives 10 years, 10 birthdays, 10, like you see that how they're like, there's repetition there, but they're driving deep into emotion. They're getting the viewer to like bought into this ad. And what it means is that when they introduce the product, when they introduce a solution, the viewer is more likely to be receptive for it because we've already kind of crossed that barrier into the emotional state.
Farmer's dog, we don't think that's long enough. That's why our freshly made food comes pre-portioned, just for your dog.
Okay, so in no way are they saying our food is going to help your dog live longer, right? They're not making that claim. If they were to make that claim, they would probably be in trouble with the FTC, right? But what they're saying is that we just don't think 10 years is enough, right? And that's it. Like, and then they just start talking about the food. Like, oh yeah, by the way, we pre-portion your food. It's healthy, all this stuff. And then you're letting the customer connect the dots without you saying that outright.
Because a dog at a healthy weight is a longer, happier life.
Okay, and then just connecting it back at the end. Yes, because it's likely that there's data out there that shows that dogs that are healthy weight do live longer than dogs who are not healthy weight. So there's that ad right there. Let's watch this one. Now this hook is a like classic like Instagram question, right? The farmer's dog, ask me anything. Personalized dog food, how does it work? This is a great one to use because it's very native to the platform. People on Instagram are going to be used to seeing this, and again, it doesn't look like an ad. And then you're also going to be able to use this as a hook to get into the rest of your video, right? You're almost using it as an excuse to explain the product and explain the benefits. And they're answering like someone would answer this in a story format, right? Because this is like the ask me anything story kind of question. You can see that they're using like Instagram native blocks and text to answer the questions, not by someone speaking, but just by like putting the text on the screen, okay? So it's a very, very simple ad that you can start testing for yourself. Now these are like 5-second ads, right? We're gonna see like a lot of these, 5 seconds, 7 seconds. Right, so obviously they're showing a very cute dog, right? That's gonna grab attention. And then the headline for all these is, she'll never have to eat burnt brown pellets. And this is what dogs are likely eating, right? This is what most dogs eat, is these brown pellets, the kibble, right? So you can see here that they're repeating the same framework. And these ads have been running, for 36 days. They're likely spending a decent amount on these ads. So we can infer that like, this specific angle is like, she'll never have to eat burnt brown pellets, is something that grabs attention and makes the customers question like, wait, my dog eats these brown pellets, like what's wrong with that, okay?
4 reasons dogs will...
All right, 4 reasons why. This is like a classic framework and one of the simplest ads you can create. I've actually, if we just jump over here, one of the frameworks I put down is the 3 reasons why, 3 ways, right? I just give you like 3 examples of frameworks right here. We're gonna go through this in a little more depth in just a moment, but this is like a classic hook that you can use.
Going crazy for this. 1. Made with fresh meat and vegetables to human-grade safety standards. No fillers.
So you use like the 4 reasons why as a hook, and then you just go through each reason, right? And this ad is great for education. It's great for those customers that are not at the more aware stages, they're more the less aware stages of the market, and they require that education.
Preservatives or artificial flavors. F2. Personalized and pre-portioned.
Okay, and as you can imagine, it just goes through the rest of the reasons. And what you want to do in these ads is after you go through each of the reasons, you can talk about social proof is a big one, right? You want to add like customer reviews, right? If we look at this, we go through reason 1, reason 2, reason 3. We introduce the product if we haven't already. Like if we have, then we focus a bit more on education and maybe why, tying that back to the reasons we just spoke about. Social proof, authority, meaning it's recommended. It's some sort of authority figure or authority body works really well here, and then a CTA at the end to click the link. Okay.
These are the 5 worst things my puppy has eaten.
Okay, so this ad right here is, again, doesn't look like an ad. It's a little bit more like entertainment value, right? And we're going to see why.
An entire roll of toilet paper, our outdoor slippers, my tennis shoes, my birth certificate, and our cat's bow tie.
Okay, so we're expecting them to like kind of tie in that this is an ad and we're trying to sell you something, but so far it's just like, here's 5 things that I would, like it's kind of funny, it's a little bit entertaining.
Which, after a visit to the vet, we were able to recover. This little menace will eat anything, except for this.
Okay, so this is really good because they've just listed 5 things that a dog has eaten, like crazy things, right? Okay, dogs do eat those things, but it's like a little bit out there, it's not food. And then they give the dog the kibble and then it doesn't eat the kibble. Okay, now they're going into like more of the problem education. They're talking about like the processed food.
It goes into making kibble. Can you believe her for not wanting to eat these burnt pellets? We feed our puppy the farmer's dog.
Okay, now we talk about the problem and then we introduce the product, and i.e. the solution.
Because all of their recipes are made with real meat and veggies. They even develop a pre-portioned meal.
Okay, education as well. Like, yes, it's maybe real food, but like, why is it? Like, why should I care about that, right?
Plan that adapts to Fiona's needs as she grows based on her breed, age, body type, and activity level. And they deliver it to our door, ready to serve.
Okay, so benefits and then more features coming.
So even if her palate wants to taste things she's not supposed to have, I know she's still eating meals developed by board-certified nutritionists. Try it out for your dog. We're giving you 60% off your first box of
Okay, so very simple ad. You can get creative with this, of course. This is like, you're starting with things that are like making sure like it's not an ad. Also, this is a whitelisting ad as well. Like just another point, do whitelisting ads. But you're starting in a way, you're trying to get the viewer hooked in without them knowing it's an ad. And then you can introduce your product and then you can talk about the benefits because you already have their attention. So I don't want to go through like a ton of different ads. I think you're getting the idea here. What I want to talk about is how you can actually apply this to your own brand, right? Because yes, we can look at these brands, we can watch these ads and that's great. But what do we actually do with this information, right? How do we actually take this and create a framework, a process that we can use to predictably produce these ads that can perform well for us and then we can scale, okay? That's what we're here for. So a few things. I want to just introduce you to like the process that we have internally to actually build these creatives, especially videos. So the process is as follows. Everything starts with research. Then from a research, we come up with these ad angles, which are the big overarching ideas of the creatives. We produce the creatives, we test the creatives, we get data through our analysis, and then we either iterate on the creatives or we go back to the angles and test new angles. So this is really the process. Now, when it comes to research, this is by far the most important thing you will do when producing creatives. It can seem boring, it can seem trivial, it can seem like a waste of time. Trust me, it is the best use of time that you will make in terms of producing winning ad creatives, okay? So I recently actually uploaded a video on my channel, and I'll add the link, you might see it up here in the info card. But what I did was I explained how you can use ChatGPT to create a custom agent that will help you with your research. I'll show you how to build this custom agent in just a few minutes, and then from there you can ask it questions and it will give you back data around like customer reviews, right? And insights into those. Customer avatars, it will actually build avatars for you. Data processing, so giving it like Reddit, giving it surveys, and getting it to process data and extract insights. And of course, competitor analysis as well. Now, with all of this data, what do? You get these insights, these patterns, these pain points, these desires. You can take this information and run with it yourself, or you can even ask ChatGPT to extract ad angles for you and come up with angles based on the insights, the patterns, the pain points, the desires. So what happens is basically from this research, we come up with angles. So when we think about angles, we usually come up with 3 to 5 angles to begin with. And the reason why we only do this is because these are like big ideas, right? They're not the individual creatives that we're going to be producing. So an angle could be based on like a specific pain point that we want to lean into. It could be based on a specific unique mechanism of a product that we want to convey, right? And that's really the overarching angle. From there, we'll talk about the frameworks. So when we're producing creatives, as you can see here, each angle, right? You go into a framework, then you produce the creative, then you test and analyze. Just because we have one angle doesn't mean we only use one framework, right? We produce multiple ads within that angle, really just as many as we can come up with. It also depends on the spend. If you're spending more, obviously there's more room to test different creative types. But this is really the premise of how this works. And then by frameworks, what I mean is that we have these proven frameworks, these proven step-by-step ways of building ads using these individual, what we call blocks. Each one of these, you could say, is like also like an element. Take these individual elements, these individual blocks, you put them together, and what that does is it creates a framework that has been proven to work, right? So a lot of brands, what they do is they throw stuff at the wall to see what sticks. They come up with a creative script. Okay, let's test it. There's no framework behind that. So regardless of like if it works or if it doesn't work, it's really hard to learn from that. It's really hard to learn why it worked, why it didn't work. And the learning process is what's going to allow you to get better at producing ad creative over time, and it's going to increase your win ratio of how many creatives that you produce that actually turn into winners. So, there's some examples of frameworks here. Problem agitate solution. And by the way, I've just taken 3 of the ones that we use internally. These are the ones that are proven to work. You can take these and start running with them. But problem agitate solution, we start with the hook, problem agitate, right? We go deeper into the problem and we talk about the problem of the problem and really get, meet the customer where they are in their mind, talk in their language, the root cause of the problem to explain why it's happening, educate the customer on, the solutions to that, and then we introduce the product as a solution. Benefit 1, benefit 2, benefit 3. We're listing the benefits of our product. We're introducing social proof to increase trust, and then we are ending with a CTA. Okay, so this is the usual structure that we follow. By the way, using this ChatGPT custom agent that I built out in a different video, you'll be able to get the link to and watch. What you can do is you can actually get this custom agent to write briefs for you using these specific frameworks. If you give it a specific framework like this and you tell it, do this, do this, do this, do this, it's going to be able to write that for you using the insights it gathered from the research, using the customer avatars it built for you. So it's super, super powerful. Highly, highly recommend checking that out. Another one is 3 reasons why, 3 ways. We already went through this, so I'm not going to go through this again. And then, of course, before and after. This is like similar to what we saw in the Farmer's Dogs ads as well when they were showing those before and afters. But the hook can be how I went from this to this, or it could just be something like a visual of before and after. Like you don't even have to say anything or use text. You can just show the visual, show not tell, right? But then you introduce the problem, then the discovery. So like how the person in the video like actually discovered this solution, introduce the product as a solution, talk about the unique mechanism of the product, why this product helps achieve the before and after, positioning you as the vehicle to get customer from current state to after state or desired state. And then we introduce some benefits, right? It could be 2 benefits, 3 benefits, doesn't really matter. As long as we're introducing benefits and solidifying that in the customer's mind. Social proof again to increase trust. End result, just reinforcing the end result, reinforcing the after state, reinforcing the desired state to remind the customer this product is going to help you get to that after state. Introduce some guarantees, some risk reversal, and then finally CTA. So that's just the general structure that we use for that framework as well. So we've gone through the frameworks. When it comes to actually producing the creatives itself, especially videos, like you need content. Content, like when you're running meta ads, especially like content, like it's a content heavy platform. right? You're gonna have to produce creatives. And what a lot of brands do, and what the mistake a lot of brands make, is that they end up spending a ton of money on content that doesn't end up working. It's something that I see happen a lot. And this used to be the case with our clients, but we came up with a way to help them save money on their content with reusing content, reusing B-roll and blocks, but also using AI. So to show you, like, I guess the standard process is that you get content from creators, you pay $150 to $300 per video, you edit, you launch, repeat the cycle. And on top of this, as I mentioned, what most brands are doing is they don't have these frameworks behind the content that they're actually getting from creators. So it's just a long video of someone talking to a camera. There's no framework. Can you use that video again in the future? Maybe you can use some B-roll, but it's not optimized for what I'm about to show you. So what we do for our brands instead, and what I recommend, is you get B-roll from creators, you get some talking heads. B-roll is kind of the shots of the product, right? So if I'm selling like headphones, it's like a shot of the headphones. It's a video of me wearing the headphones while I'm doing some work, right? It's B-roll, it's showing the product in action, it's showing the use cases, it's showing the problems, it's showing pain points, just show not tell, right? It's just visuals. And as you can imagine with these, and what happens is these visuals can be reused and reused and reused and reused, regardless of the video that we're making, right? As long as it makes sense. And our goal is to get a library of B-roll that we can reuse and reuse and reuse. So we pay for it once and it's reusable, right? So the value of that content is so much higher than like a talking head of someone like talking to their phone and just being like, yeah, I tried the product, it's great, etc., like all that stuff, okay? We do still get those talking heads. We still do get the videos of people talking to the camera because we're able to mix that into the video as well and use that as well. However, it's not the bulk of what we're doing. And the reason why this is important is because we can create ads without needing like new talking heads from creators, right? We can just create it with AI, right? We can use 11 Labs to create voices with AI that sound human and sound realistic, and we just use the B-roll. And it doesn't mean that we don't show people, right? We can show B-roll of people, and we just use AI voiceover, right? So the cost per ad creative goes down, and you reuse this in creative, you edit, launch, and repeat the cycle, okay? So it's a much more effective way. It's not only cost effective, it's also much faster, right? Because if you've worked with creators, you know that it takes time to get content, and when you build up this library, trust me, it is a game changer. You just want to make sure, this is really, really important, you have a clear way of organizing this content. Google Drive, like whatever, find a way to clearly organize it within folders and subfolders so that you can find it easily in the future. Now, when it comes to actually sourcing creators, because yes, you are gonna need some B-roll from creators, you are gonna need some talking heads to build that library at the beginning. There's really like two main sources. If you're in the US, if you're in Canada, if you're in Europe, use Backstage, backstage.com. You can post a job, you're gonna get applicants in 24 to 48 hours. Most of these guys are actors, right? So they are very good at what they do. Pricing is also realistic. And Star Now, this is like the Backstage version for Australia and New Zealand. So if you're in Australia and New Zealand, use Star Now, starnow.com, and it works exact same way as Backstage. I think they're actually owned by the same company because the back-end interface is like exactly the same, just different colors. So yeah, that is my recommendation for creators. And we spoke about the framework, we spoke about creative ideas, and we spoke about how to actually save money on content, get content faster to produce these creatives, all right? So that is it from me. Hope this video was helpful. If you have any questions on any of this, just ask me below in the comments, happy to answer. If you want this Figma file with these frameworks, etc., also just let me know down below in the comments, happy to send it over, and I will see you in the next video.